Hello anybody watching this video. I'm going to react to the video called Stop with hashtag not all men. Fun fact, not all men is very necessary. It may be annoying to certain people, but for the most part it is true. But I'm going to start the video now. I hope you enjoy.
Hi friend, today I want to genuinely talk about something from my heart and from my mind, straight into your heart and your mind. Hello heart and mind, how are you? Twitter is so predictable. You can always count on the same things trending over time, such as like superhero movies getting spoiled, blankets over party, or literally anything that BTS does. Just like straight up J-Hope sees, #1 trend, Kleenex Army. And I respect that. But one of my least favorite Twitter hashtags came back this week like a cold sore, and I'm talking about hashtag not all men. In case you missed this, let me break it down for you. Now the hashtag is actually a response to a really tragic story, and that is that earlier this month in the UK, a 33-year-old woman, Sarah Everard, was missing on her way home from a friend's house. And a week later, her body was found, and a UK police officer has been arrested under suspicion of murder and kidnapping. Now, hearing about Sarah's story struck a chord with me and so many other women, and so on Twitter, you had a lot of women sharing their stories about harassment. And it's really sad to say, but people weren't tweeting because they were shocked. They were tweeting because this kind of stuff is just all too predictable, and too many women can relate. For women, wondering if we're going to have to live in fear on any given day is like wondering if Dua Lipa's next song is going to be a bop.
It's the 2020 decade. You can get a guy, husband, or boyfriend to protect you, or you can use pepper spray, weapons, etc.
On any given day is like wondering if Dua Lipa's next song is going to be a bop. Yes, I need you to hear me when I say that threats against women are literally everywhere, and they're especially greater if you're a trans woman, a queer woman, or a woman of color. And in case you're not able to relate to that, let me break it down for you. Fear for a woman means something as simple as walking home from a friend's house, standing up to a co-worker at work, or having the audacity to reject a man that hits on you.
A bunch of girls reject guys that hit on them. Also, sometimes, depending on your status, this same thing can happen the other way around. Also, have you ever heard of double standards which happen towards men and women? Fun fact, men who get sexually abused nowadays are ignored, while with women a whole bunch of people would do something. Also, again, there are many ways to protect yourself nowadays.
Trying to stand up for yourself all the time is hard. Try doing that in heels.
I swear, so many people put themselves into situations like this, then complain or wonder why that happened. You don't have to wear high heels. It's your choice, and if it's making life so much more difficult, that was your fault.
Sarah, all these women went to social media, started talking about their own experiences, and a bunch of men saw these tweets and said, how can we make this about us?
It technically was about them. Men get sexually harassed as well. Also, types of women and men on social media will try to say a bunch of things, but to simplify it, they say, if one man does one bad thing, all men are bad or would do those same things. Well, men have to use arguments, stand up to this craziness, and one of the easiest ways is by saying hashtag not all men.
And that's how the hashtag not all men started trending. It's effectively a hashtag that says, hey, women, I see all the problems you're facing, but I just want to make it clear, it's not my fault.
That's right, it's not. But a bunch of people on social media, especially Twitter, think the wrong thing, which makes us have to do this. I get the fact that women and a small portion of men have shared these stories, but to blame all men is totally incorrect.
Okay, the last time the not all men hashtag was trending was during the Me Too movement. Again, effectively it's taking Shaggy's defense of, wasn't me. And can I just say, if your first response to something like this is, yo, this is not my fault, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, it probably is. It's the same thing with farts. He who denied it, supplied it. He who refuted it, tweeted it. He who spurns it, churns it. I could go on.
That doesn't give you the right to blame another man for something like this. You need evidence, facts, and or logic for me to believe you. I can understand saying this is kinda suspicious, but that doesn't make it right. Also, this would be like you saying you know that you didn't rob a candy store. They don't have any evidence, and they know it wasn't you, so they can't still blame you.
But for real though, all jokes aside, a normal person who is well-adjusted, if they met someone who went through trauma, they would probably say, I'm so sorry that happened to you, how can I help? Not, but I'm okay, right? Yes, we realize that 100% of men are not bad people. We never said they were, so I don't know why this hashtag has a trend. Trying to dispute something that was never a thing.
Have you ever been on Twitter, or even TikTok, then searched all men are bad, or cage all men, There are a bunch of people who do things like this, and trust me, it definitely exists.
We don't need these obvious hashtags, okay? We don't need a hashtag to say the original Aunt Viv was better. We know. And if this story sounds familiar, it's because it is. We've seen it before. We saw it when the Black community was trying to share their stories and bring attention to important causes, and all these people jumped online to say, all lives matter.
All lives matter is not the same thing. That's not necessarily how racism works. Also, there have been some white people who have been falsely accused by other people.
Literally no one asked for your racist opinion, except for maybe Tucker Carlson. Same exact thing happened with the straight pride parade. You have the queer community out here trying to be heard, trying to be celebrated, trying to feel safe and comfortable, and you're out here being like, we're here too. No, that's the problem. And I'll be honest, this rant right here that you're watching is the perfect example of why these hashtags do so much damage. Because we're no longer talking about Sarah's tragedy, we're now talking about semantics, which is ironic because usually angry dudes on Twitter are anti-semantic.
To be fair, on Twitter, there are a bunch of crazy people there who do say all men are bad. Also, there are a bunch of people who use things like this to have an excuse to be mad.
I want to say, I feel like we need more compassion and more ability to hear others out and understand their experiences instead of just jumping at every opportunity to make things about us. Hey, if everything's not about you.
Karens, people on Twitter who make things about them because of one bad relationship or some other reason. Also, when people say things like, all men are trash, cage all men are bad, etc., you literally put us in the conversation. Also, a bunch of people use things like this as well. So really, just because something bad happened, people shouldn't throw all men under the bus. This is one of the main reasons hashtag not all men is used.
Respect. The next time a community is hurting and you feel the need to insert yourself into the conversation, instead insert yourself into oncoming traffic. Just kidding, that was harsh, but just shut up.
You know, people on Twitter insert themselves into conversations a lot of the time, but sometimes people need to be called out for what that person said. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, comment what you think. Be warned, if you comment I might respond. Thank you for watching.